Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into a really interesting series of pedals. The Electro Harmonix Oceans Reverb line. The Oceans 11, the 12, and the most recent one, the 20.
Yeah, and we've got a ton of info on what they do, but the real mission here, I think, is understanding the strategy behind them.
Exactly.
We want to pull out how this specific series, starting back in, 2018, how it basically repositioned EHX entirely.
Right.
For ages, they were the delay and modulation guys, think Memory Man. But then almost suddenly, they became this major player in, the high-end digital reverb game.
And that's such a key point, isn't it? Because just before 2018, EHX, well, they didn't really have that big modern reverb family. They were kind of lagging behind.
Totally. You had Strymon, Boss, TC Electronic. They sort of owned that space, especially for the complex stuff. EHX needed a way in, and importantly, a way to scale up.
So the Oceans line wasn't just another pedal.
No, not at all. It became their most successful modern digital platform, period. So for you listening, the thing to track is this evolution, how they started small, affordable, accessible, and then just ramped it up into these complex workstations over, 5 years?
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning then. 2018, the Oceans 11. What was the thinking behind that first one?
It felt very calculated, I think, focused on accessibility, and value. The idea was pretty clever. Pack genuinely good competitive reverb sounds.
Right. High-end algorithm.
Exactly. Into their smallest box, the nano size. And critically, keep the price down. Way down compared to the competition.
Which immediately made it super pedal board friendly and, budget friendly too. Big deal for players maybe eyeing a Strymon but couldn't quite justify it.
And the name Oceans 11, that was just, a bit cheeky, wasn't it?
Yeah, the film reference.
Yeah.
But it worked because it instantly told you 11 sounds, versatility.
And those 11 modes really set the stage. It wasn't just the basics, the hall, spring, plate everyone expects. They had to bring that EHX flavor, that creativity, right from the start.
And they did. Modes like shimmer, that octave up thing for huge ambient washes.
Classic.
And polyphonic pitch-shifted reverb. Can you unpack that slightly for someone who hasn't used it?
Yeah, sure. So poly looks at the notes you're playing and shifts the reverb tails harmonically to match. It creates these really lush, almost orchestral textures.
Very cool.
Very EHX.
And then there was auto infinite sustain.
Brilliant for sound design or live looping. You can freeze the reverb tail without constantly holding down the switch. Super practical.
What I also found interesting was packing in combined effects, which you usually only saw on bigger pedals back then.
Right. Getting delay mixed in with the reverb echo or modulation like chorus flanger, mod, even tremolo, trem.
Yeah, and Dyna mode. That name's a bit vague, but the function is so useful.
Oh, yeah. Dyna is like the secret weapon for playing live or in a dense mix. It covers gate, ducking, swell.
Ducking is the key one for me there. The reverb volume drops while you play, then swells back up when you stop.
Exactly. Keeps your main guitar tone clear, stops everything turning into, mush.
That little detail says a lot, doesn't it? Pro-level thinking, even in this compact box. And the controls were simple, time, tone, level, but then you had secondary stuff like tap tempo, infinite hold, all tucked away.
They squeezed everything they could into it. And the legacy of the 11, it's really that quality to price ratio. It proved EHX could do modern DSP and do it well, affordably.
Became a massive seller, right? Put them firmly back on the reverb map.
Absolutely. The 11 was the proof of concept. It basically earned them the right to take the next step.
Okay, so the 11 nailed quality and accessibility. What was the strategic move in 2020 then? Where did they go next?
Well, the next logical step was to aim higher,
right,
directly at the pro market with the Oceans 12.
Right.
And this wasn't just like Oceans 11 Plus. It was a whole different concept. They called it a dual-engine reverb workstation.
That word workstation definitely signals a shift. Moving beyond just a single versatile pedal to something for more complex setups, studio-level control maybe?
Exactly that. The core is the dual engine. You can run two completely separate reverb algorithms at the same time.
Two at once. Wow.
Yeah. And you choose how they run. Series one feeding into the other for these huge evolving sounds, or parallel side by side, great for blending different textures. It just doubled the sonic potential instantly.
But running two big reverbs like that, you need the right connections. Stereo becomes pretty crucial, right?
Non-negotiable, really, especially if you're doing ambient stuff, sound design, or running wet-dry rigs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the 12 brought in true stereo inputs and outputs, essential for that immersive sound.
And strategically, where did this place the Oceans 12 in the market?
It was a direct challenge. Think about the pedals it was going up against. Strymon Big Sky, Boss RV 500, maybe some of the Eventide stuff.
Okay, heavy hitters.
The established flagships, yeah. They were known for dual processing, deep control, but also high price tags. The Oceans 12 offered a very similar level of flexibility, often for less money.
That's an aggressive move.
Yeah.
But moving into that high-end territory, it's not just about the sounds, is it? It's about integration, control. Did they handle the added complexity well? MIDI can be intimidating on a Stompbox.
That's always the balance, isn't it? But yeah, they expanded the control set significantly. Independent tap tempo, expression control inputs, that stuff became standard.
Okay.
But the big leap was adding 24 presets and full MIDI capability. That was the signal to pros. This belongs in your rig.
And MIDI isn't just preset switching, is it? It's about system integration.
Totally. Connecting to loop switchers, controlling parameters from a DSW, it turns the pedal into a programmable part of a bigger setup, not just a standalone box.
So the 11 was the accessible entry, proved the quality. The 12 was the step up, the challenger, proving they could do pro features and scalability.
Which leads us naturally to 2023 and the ultimate evolution, as they called it, the Oceans 20.
Right. If the 12 was a workstation, the 20 feels more like a dedicated reverb command center.
Yeah, it's definitely the peak of the series so far, aimed squarely at players who need absolutely maximum flexibility, but maybe don't want to go full rack mount. It's bigger than the 11 or 12, sure, but still pretty manageable on a board, considering what's inside.
And the scale is just huge. We jumped from 11 modes in the first one to 20 algorithms here.
20 distinct reverb algorithms.
Oh.
It includes basically everything from the 11 and 12, plus new shimmer types, more ambient stuff, even some experimental and lo-fi sounds. It's like a greatest hits collection, plus a bunch of new material.
Almost a complete library of modern reverb.
Pretty much. But for the pros, the real killer feature probably isn't just the number of sounds, it's the presets. The 20 jumps up to over 100 preset slots with direct recall.
Over 100, wow. Okay, I can see that being essential for touring guys.
Absolutely. Think about a live set. You need to go from a tight room sound on one song to a massive ambient wash on the next instantly. Having 100+ spots you can just call up with your feet, that changes everything for complex shows.
And the connectivity stepped up again from the 12, beyond MIDI.
Yep, the 20 added USB. Which sounds like a small thing, but it's pretty fundamental for managing pedals these days.
Right, for preset management,
Yeah.
using computer software.
Exactly. Makes handling those 100+ presets way easier. Organize them, back them up, share them, and crucially, firmware updates.
Ah, future-proofing.
Right. It means EHX can potentially add new sounds or tweak existing ones down the line, even after you've bought the pedal. It keeps it relevant.
So looking at the Oceans 20, it feels like it's really bridging a gap. It's playing in the same league as, say, a Strymon Night Sky or an Eventide Space, but maybe in a more pedal board-centric format.
That's a good way to put it. It is absolutely the most feature-packed reverb EHX has ever made. It shows how far they've come in the digital realm. They're not just competing anymore. They're setting some benchmarks for density and integration at this price point.
Okay, so we've traced this whole journey. The compact, value-packed 11, the dual-engine, MIDI-ready 12,
Yep.
and now this 20 algorithm, the 100 preset monster, the 20. If we pull back, what were the big strategic wins for EHX with this series? What was the impact?
Well, I think it boils down to maybe 4 or 5 key things. First, like we said at the start, it absolutely put EHX back on the reverb map big time. They went from kind of being on the sidelines in that niche to being a leader.
Okay, that's huge.
Second, the Oceans 11 itself was just a brilliant market entry. It proved they could do quality DSP, small and affordably. It made those kinds of sounds accessible to way more people, built loyalty for what came next. Third, the way they scaled up with the 12 and 20 showed they weren't afraid to go after the high-end multi-engine market. They added the features pros demanded, MIDI, stereo, presets, all that stuff.
They showed they could play in that space too.
Exactly. And fourth, I think this is important for EHX's identity, the series reinforced their knack for balancing the old and the new. You still get great spring and plate sounds, the classics.
Right. The assembly.
But alongside really modern, forward-thinking stuff like the poly and shimmer modes, they respected the heritage while pushing the tech.
So tying it all together for someone listening, what does this whole series mean for different kinds of players?
Well, it means the Oceans line pretty much covers the whole spectrum now. If you're just starting
Right.
out, or maybe you just need one really solid, versatile reverb that won't break the bank or hog your board, the 11 is still a fantastic choice.
Makes sense.
But then, if you're, I don't know, an ambient guitarist, a sound designer, maybe playing in church worship settings, or you're a touring pro who needs deep control, stereo layers, MIDI, tons of presets, the Oceans 20 is built specifically for you.
It really is a great example of starting strong and then methodically scaling up to cover everyone.
Yeah, it's a textbook case. Enter with quality and value, build from there, and then aggressively scale features to capture the high end without alienating your original customers. Really smart product development over that 5-year period.
It's genuinely impressive how quickly they evolved, from 11 modes in that little nano box
Yeah.
to dual engines in MIDI in the 12, and then boom, 20 algorithms, USB, over 100 presets in the 20. A massive leap in capability.
It really is. And, it brings up an interesting point to maybe leave people thinking about. The Ocean series gets a lot of praise for blending those classic bread and butter sounds, the springs, the plates, with really modern, almost extreme digital sounds. So the question is, when you're designing a really versatile digital platform like this, how important is it really to keep one foot planted in that sort of analog heritage, those familiar sounds? How crucial is that foundation for successfully selling the really cutting-edge DSP stuff, something for you to mull over as you look at effects design today?